Hi guys, welcome back to Nightmare Frames. And when we last left off, I had pissed off a whole bunch of cult people, and then I got a message to meet someone at this abandoned theater. So I'm gonna go do that, and I think it might be the other cult guy who's not saying anything when I was getting yelled at. Why are you talking? I didn't look into the thing about dialogue skipping, so hopefully that's not an issue this episode, even though it probably will be. I think it's probably the same bug that's making the cab drivers talk, even though I made it so they don't. But enough about that. Let's go here. This is either cult member or trap. Loving Harry, 1 Week in Greece. I don't think either of those are real movies. Hello? Are the movies worth it? Oh yes, both were nominated for the Golden Globes last year. They're just porn movies, dude. If they get you horny, they've done their job. It's that kind of theater. Someone is waiting for me inside. Sounds good to me, but no sex in the screening room. Find yourself a motel when you can get out of the theater. 1 ticket, please. $2.50. Here you go. Damn, I wish movie tickets were cheap these days. That cheap these days. I don't know what $2.50 was the equivalent of in the 80s in modern money. But, do they still have porn theaters? They must. I feel like in a city like LA, they still definitely would. Can I say anything else to you? I'm Alan Goldberg. Has anyone asked for me? The clerk gives you a condescending look. Alrighty then, thank you. Let's go. Oh, there's so many people. Wow. Good, you are now inside the luxury. But there are a lot of people here who could have summoned you. This dude looks like he's ready to party. Mike is not the person you were looking for. Do I know him? From the diner? Was that? Willis Jones is not the person you were looking for. Do I know all these people? Frank Ramos is not the person you're looking for. I think these are either... I don't know if this was a Kickstarter game. I don't think it was. But if it was, these might be people, the names of people who donated to the Kickstarter, or these are either the people who worked on the game, or people who know the people who worked on the game as like an homage. Sitting in a porn theater, what a way. What a way to be honored. Dracula? Hank Miller is not the person you were looking for. I know this guy. Clark Hammond is not the person you're looking. I don't think Clark Hammond was the name of the guy. You're old. What about you? Aha! Goldberg. Ah, I was right. I'm glad you came. Nice place to meet up. After what happened at the church, I don't want to risk anyone seeing me with you. You know what the church thinks about homosexuality, right? So what better place to be able to talk at ease? No one would believe that one of the founders of the church would be seen in a gay porn theater. And what the hell, I wanted to watch something interesting while I waited for you. You know what? Good for you, dude. Also, that is actually pretty smart. What the hell happened in the church? Please excuse Joseph. He has been taking this persona of his quite seriously for years. He actually believes he grew up on a farm until the late 1960s when Mother Earth spoke to him. He has forgotten everything that happened in the House of the Black Light. Or so he would have people believe. He went ballistic. He has worked too long on his messiah complex for a stranger to come along and take his story apart. Forget about him. You knew Keller, didn't you? Of course. Keller, the House of the Black Light, we were there. How did you find out? Perhaps it is true that I am a seeker. Oh no, you're back. Unless you're also here to watch gay porn. No? Okay. So Edward Keller. What is your interest in him, Goldberg? I'm looking for his lost film. I can tell you about it. Edward Joseph and I met in the mid-60s. We bonded over our fascination with demonology and Satanism. At the time, Los Angeles was a counterculture hive. Anything that departed from the norm was welcome. And Satanism fascinated all of us young people in the counterculture. We heard of the existence of a 14th century book written by a European aristocrat who had an interest in alchemy. A treatise on primordial fear was one of his best-known works. What's the book about? No one knows, but it's rumored that it was written in human blood and that it could have an influence on whoever read it. For power-hungry men like Joseph and Edward, that was a godsend. Since we didn't even have a place to drop dead, we founded the House of the Black Light with the intention of having a place to live in, and from where we could conduct our search for the book. But it got out of hand. As more new members arrived, we abandoned our research and turned to drugs and free sex. Those were good times, I must admit, or they would have been if it wasn't for Edward. What happened with Edward? He was a psychopath. He enjoyed using fear to control people. His own wife and daughter feared him. He reveled in it. He began to impose punishments on members who didn't follow certain rules. I objected to it, but Joseph seemed delighted with the idea. What kind of punishments? Branding people with a hot iron, pulling out their fingernails, leaving them locked up for 3 days in the water tank. Ugh. Barbaric shit, Goldberg. I still feel guilty that I didn't put an end to it. People accepted it without complaint. Joseph took good care of brainwashing them. Once I asked Edward why he was doing all those things, I could read between the lines that he had had a horrific childhood. He knew what it was like to live in constant fear, and he wanted everyone to experience the same thing. It didn't make sense to me, but as I said, Edward was a psychopath. Anyway, we had already forgotten the purpose of the House of the Black Light. Edward had some success with his movie Bloody Mind Games. Joseph enjoyed being the leader, and I just hung around. Edward got us all together one night. I don't know how, but he had managed to get that damn book. We sat in a circle, and he began to read some passages. The words were jumbled, and the whole text was gibberish. But as he read on, we felt fear. No, way more than that. Have you ever had a bad LSD trip, Goldberg? No. Multiply that by 10. We felt like we were someplace else and that we were all going to die. It's hard to explain, but we were taken to, I don't know, it looked like hell in there. Maybe it was hell. People began to cry out in despair while Edward kept reciting the text as if in a trance. I had to put an end to it, so I snatched the book out of his hands. Everything vanished at once, and what I saw took my breath away. Paul died of a heart attack. His hair had turned white. Mia Washington had been abused as a child by her father. She had ripped her eyes out as she screamed that her father had appeared there with an intention of abusing her again. It was real, Goldberg. It's hard to believe. I'm not asking you to, but why did we all see the same thing? Collective hysteria? Far too easy. That's what you say when you can't explain a shred of a shared phenomenon. What happened next? After that, we decided to put an end to the House of the Black Light. We would have done it anyway. Some days earlier, the Manson thing had happened, so the days of Satanism were numbered. We had been thinking about founding something like the Church of Mother Earth for some time. So Joseph and I decided to go ahead with the idea. Edward told us that he knew how to replicate the treatise on primordial fear. He had found a way to do it. We found the key in the memoirs of a cursed painter who had tried to emulate the effects of the book using a picture painted with blood. He asked us to work with him in a small town in Sacramento. What was it called? It was in Sacramento. I think it was called Serena. Yes, that's it, Serena. But we didn't want to know anything about it and cut ties with him. So Serena, is that where Keller might be? I don't know if he's still there. Hell, I don't even know if the bastard's still alive. But that's the last location I can place him in. By the way, the last thing he said before he left was that the world would experience the greatest fear ever conceived. I think that book completely changed him. I think I have no choice but to visit that town. Will you update me on your findings when you return? I've never believed in the supernatural, and for many years I've been peddling a lie with the Church of Mother Earth. I know that what I saw that night was real. I need to know if that son of a bitch managed to create something like a treatise on primordial fear. I just want to find that movie. I'm not interested in tales of black magic. Be careful, Goldberg. Maybe your visit to Serena will make you rethink some things. I doubt that. I have to go, Kinnaman. Thanks for the information. A word of advice, Goldberg. Watch out for Keller if he is still alive. Good to know. He's just been hanging out in an abandoned town this whole time? Oh no, the dude's there. Please stay away from me. Oh, is there another one? During the 7th art, Mr. Goldberg? You again? Oh, I thought that other dude in sunglasses was with him. This time I came with my boss. He did not take your refusal very well. It breaks my heart. Get in the car, please. My boss is waiting inside for you. Look, pal, I don't want anything to do with you or your boss. I think I've made it clear. You just have to listen to what he has to tell you. I promise you won't regret wasting a mere 10 minutes of your time. I insist. And then I'll get rid of you? Probably. It's a tempting offer I can't refuse. Would you like me to open the door for you? It's not necessary. I can't miss it. Is it Edward Keller? Mr. Goldberg, I don't know who you are. It's a pleasure to meet you. Tom? Let's go for a ride with Mr. Goldberg. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like the idea. I don't want to go for a ride. Please don't make me go for a ride. Do you know who I am, Mr. Goldberg? No. David Ross? Oh. You usually make it to the top of the Forbes list every year. I'd rather be on People magazine's hottest list, but I don't think they cover my age range. First of all, forgive me for jumping you like this. I am not used to someone turning down a business proposal, but I don't blame you. Tom may not have explained himself too well. What do you want? You've probably worn clothes I manufactured, eaten food that comes out of my factories, or stayed in a hotel I own. They are very lucrative yet boring businesses. What I really live for is my love of cinema, specifically horror films. And there is no greater pleasure than to hold in your hands a lost film that no one has seen. My biggest problem is that, unlike Helen, I have no luck with my seekers. I have to admit that she has a better eye for that. What have you found out about Edward Keller's lost film? How did you know? News travels fast among collectors. How about $1 million for sharing your information with me? 2 if I consider it excellent. 2? $2 million, yes. Right here, right now, I can write you a check. I don't know what Helen has promised you, but keep in mind that she won't give it to you if you don't get the film. I, on the other hand, offer you a considerable sum for what you know so far. Tell me, what do you think of my offer? Sounds tempting. But Helen Westmore has offered me so much more. Forget about Helen. That film has been missing for more than 2 decades. Do you think you're going to find it on your own? Put yourself in my shoes. I have to give it a try. What the hell is wrong with you? Does Ruskin pay that well? When you realize you've hit a dead end looking for Keller's film, you'll come back to me begging for my money. And I may have the same information as you do by then, you miserable bastard. Look, Mr. Ross, I didn't get up this morning to be insulted by someone like you. Can I get out of the car? Tom, take Mr. Goldberg home. How do you know where I live? Right away, sir. I know everything. Are you also a demon? Or the devil? Is there more than one? I don't know. 2 million. You keep going over Ross's words in your head. Could he be right? Is Serena just a dead end? $2 million. It's not just money you want, though, is it? I don't even know what I'm looking for. Oh, can I leave now? Okay, I guess I'll go. I don't sleep or do anything else. I don't see a bed in here. After dropping off all the items you no longer need, you walk through the door hoping to find Edward Keller's film and Serena. As a fellow traveler, you get the giddy feeling of coming back empty-handed after turning down $2 million. Hey you, the one in the back. Wake up. Me? Who else? There's no one left on the bus. End of the line. Oh, this is spooky. In the middle of nowhere? I already warned you that I was not going to enter Serena. This is as close as I can get. At the bus station, they told me that. The bus station keeps ignoring our complaints. We're sick and tired of telling them to stop selling tickets to Serena. What the hell, they should get rid of the stop. No one travels to Serena. Except for you. I don't know what business you have there, but if you want to come back with me to Sacramento, now's the time. No, that's not possible. In that case, your stop, sir. But, your stop, sir. Okay? You're going to leave me in the middle of nowhere during a storm? Serena's half a mile from here. What's your problem with Serena? Why don't you want to go there? Things happen there. What kind of stuff? The driver goes silent, and you can tell by the look on his face that he's not going to say anything else. Shit. Well, okay, Can I say anything else? Can I wait inside for the storm to pass? I have to go back to the station. I don't want to spend another minute here. Okay, but you're just standing there. Why weren't you leaving? Why are you standing? Thank you. Why weren't you standing there? Go to Serena or come back with me to Sacramento. Choose. What's in Serena that makes you so reluctant to drive there? The driver does not answer your question. There's no other way. Be careful there. Okay, thanks. You'd give anything to sit down and wait for the storm to die down. But he's not gonna let me, so I guess we're just gonna walk in the rain. Bye, dude. Hope I don't die. Shit. Shit. Well, this is promising. After a long struggle against the elements, you arrive at Serena, soaking wet and shivering. Your plan is to find a hostel to shelter you from the rain, but the whole town seems to be abandoned. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna find anything here. We're gonna have to break in somewhere. Oh my god. Oh no. No! Freeze! I didn't do anything! What? Not a single step further, I'll blow your brains out. That's a little aggressive. And hands where I can see them. Oh shit. What's happening? They threw me in the slammer, no! At least I got some sleep, I think. Neither the constant sound of the rain on the roof nor the annoying musty smell have prevented you from sleeping relatively well. Although nothing made you think of the day before that you would end up in the cell of a police station in a godforsaken town. Okay. Spending your days coping up struggling with the script for Lunatic 2. Wandering from one end of Hollywood to the other, and the rough night you've been through is starting to take its toll on you. Astounding FX would be happy to use you as a model for one of their creatures. It can't be used, the faucet has been ripped off. Hello? You can't touch it through the bars, but why? You should get out of the cell to be able to approach the basket. Okay, I can't, okay. Can I walk over here? Hello? Don't I get a phone call? What do I have in my possession? I have a wallet. Can I look at my wallet? Several credit cards and enough notes to get by without an ATM. Hello? Oh, it's just unlocked? What? The door was open. Lucky me. Without hesitation, you decide to leave the cell. You slam the cell door with the intention of never setting foot in one ever again. A layer of rust coats the metal stove, and the little door probably won't budge because of it. In any case, you don't need to open it. The steps would not be able to support your weight due to their poor condition. It would be dangerous to climb on it. The clothes in the basket are floating in a mixture of mold and water. You don't want to stick your hand in there. Am I gonna have to? It's all useless. You don't need anything from there. Hand lever press. You can use the press if you need to force something open, but it's missing the handle that turns the screw. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay. The washing machine door won't open. It doesn't matter much anyway, since the washer stopped working in 79. Guess I'll go on out. Oh, hi. Goldberg. The cell door was unlocked, and I unlocked it. I called all the places you told me. Ruskin Productions, Joe's Diners. Down to get facts. Stop skipping. Your ability to get alibi is pretty solid. As far as I am concerned, you weren't in Serena during the last few days. I already said in my statement, I've never been here before. Yes, of course. I have no doubts about that. As far as the law's concerned, you were a free man. Cool. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time. What's done is done. Oh, and by the way, I've been speaking with Eliza. Wait till the folks at Wade Creek hear about this. Great gal, isn't she? Very nice. By the way, I'm Police Chief Bowman, but you can call me Rick. Can I drop the formalities and call you Alan? Yeah, sure. Okay, Alan, how can I help you? Do you have any coffee? I need some. Of course, it's right next to the door. Help yourself. You're a lot nicer than last night. It's from yesterday, but I warmed it up in the radiator. Works for me. There's not a lot of luxuries in this police station. I try to spruce it up a bit every time I come here. As I was saying, sorry for the misunderstanding last night. When you threatened to blow my head off, okay. But you gotta understand, 3 days ago a little girl went missing, Sarah Jordan, 14 years old. It doesn't seem likely that she ran away. The girl's a little slow. She has special needs, if you know what I mean. We swept the town and the surrounding area. The fact that you, a complete stranger, showed up in town in the middle of the night made you a suspect. Makes sense. No hard feelings, you were doing your job. I'm glad you feel that way. So, Alan, you mentioned a guy named Keller? That is what brought you to this town. Do you know Edward Keller? No. Last night was the first time I heard of him. You mentioned that he probably ended up in Serena. That's right. A reporter interviewed him in the early 1970s. That was a long time ago. He could be somewhere else. Probably, but it's the only lead I have on him. I can ask some questions around town about Keller or about the reporter. Someone should remember. It would be nice of you. Especially after I made you sleep in that dump back there. Yeah, thanks for that. The cells are a mess. I had to say it. Only the cells? The whole police station. What the hell, the whole town. Serena lost its municipality status in 1980. Now everything is managed from Wade Creek. I'm the chief of police there. I come here once a month to check that everything is okay. Except in the case of an emergency, of course. Like what happened to poor Sarah Jordan. And when I have a day off, I sometimes drop by to clean up a bit. Where can I find the former chief of police? He might know something about Keller. Marvin Floyd? He died 4 years ago. He left his position in the mid-70s. Poor Floyd spent his last years in a wheelchair. Last year, the Wade Creek City Council realized that Serena hadn't had a police chief for over a decade. And, well, here I am. The guy who brought me didn't want to come into Serena. Serena does not have much of a reputation around these parts. And it's not like its people are very welcoming either. It's not that. He looked scared. Yeah, well, nothing but misinformation has happened here since the town was founded. One of the worst tragedies to ever strike the town was the fire at the Clark Morgan High School. All the students perished in it. That's horrible. On top of that, the locals believe they see things. Although I'm not surprised that after all these folks have been through, they're a bit off their rocker. I think it's also because of the water. The river has been polluted for decades, but they don't seem to care. What kind of things do the people in Serena think they see? I don't know, visions or something like that. It's like they're on a permanent bad trip, you know? Uh-oh. If you talk to them, they will try to convince you that they see ghosts. Don't play along. Are you done with the coffee? Yes. Come closer, I need to ask you a favor. The search for Sarah Jordan concluded yesterday. There is no trace of her. I've managed to convince 2 guys from the town, Mike Reeves and Fred Munson, to do a new sweep. They don't want poor Sarah to meet the same fate as Mary Elizabeth Hellman, a girl who disappeared 10 years ago. Well, to the point. Half an hour ago, Gordon Daggett, a guy who lived on the outskirts of town, called and said his dog had been killed. Oh, doggy. I have to take care of that, but Sarah Jordan is my priority. Could you go over to Daggett's house and see what that's all about? I'm not a cop, but I can make you a deputy. Oh, just like that? What do you say? You just have to go there, listen to what he has to say, and take note of everything. And take a look at the corpse, too. I don't want to do that. That's all? Simple, huh? When the sweep is over, I'll talk to some of the locals and see if they know anything about Keller. Alright, I'll do it. Great. By the power vested in me of the law... Just kidding. There's a map in the info panel. I've marked Gordon Daggett's house for you. Well, I gotta go. The boys are waiting for me. Don't I get a badge or something? By the way, grab that jacket there on the hanger. It was Chief Floyd's. It'll come in handy. The weather's nasty out there. Damned rain. So people just live here, huh? That is odd. I was not expecting that. But okay, I think I'm gonna leave it off here. And next time we'll go see this guy about his dog, even though I really don't want to. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.